Hey guys, welcome back to 31 Days of Wisdom. Today we're on day 20. Day 20. Hey, we almost there, right? And today we're talking about the wise people. How wise people um really watch their words, right? In this chapter, chapter 20, we again really look at how many times God's personal covenant name, Yahweh, is used. Also, in this chapter, you'll see how many proverbs that refer to actual king and how we really find strong themes of authority and justice along with wisdom in this chapter, right? And wisdom comes even more desirable, really, when we realize that the words we use are under the watchful eye of God and the king, right? Those that we are under their authority. So this chapter really emphasizes wisdom with our words, and we see that hasty words, empty words, and harmful speech really has some serious repercussions. So we really want to choose our words carefully. And as you really read through chapter 20, ask yourself, right? Ask yourself how your words, how my words might be viewed in the eyes of God. And then also in the view of those in authority over us. So, last thing I wanted to touch on, I don't know if you guys have been reading, but through all of these, but have you noticed how, as we get further into Proverbs, that we get into the sayings of Solomon, how much more sophisticated they seem to get, right? And many of these sayings are kind of like riddles, and their meaning doesn't really lie on the surface. So you have to really dig in, and you may have to pause and really think about some of the words that Solomon is using and some of the riddles that he's talking about. And especially in this chapter, as you go through chapter 20 here, you may just need to sit in and think on some of these for just a bit. So here we go. Day 20, chapter 20 Proverbs. Here we go. Verse 1. A drunkard is obnoxious, loud, and argumentative. You're a fool to get intoxicated with strong drink. The rage of a king is like the roar of a lion. Do you really want to go and make him mad? A person of honor will put an argument to rest. Yeah, only the stupid want to pick a fight. You know, you think about that. It says a person of honor will put an argument to rest. There, you got some people they want to heap coals onto the fire, right? They want to keep the fire burning, and they only make it worse. But then there's some people who can come along and put the fire out, right? And that is a person of honor. If you're too lazy to plant seed, it's too bad when you have no harvest on which to feed. A man of deep understanding will give good advice, drawing it out from the well within. Many will tell you that you're a loyal friend, but who can find one who is truly trustworthy? The lovers of God will walk in integrity, and their children are fortunate to have godly parents as their example. A righteous king sits on his judgment seat. He scatters evil away from his kingdom, but is wise by his wise discernment. Think about a righteous king. He scatters evil. He doesn't attract evil. That's a righteous king. Which one of us can truly say, I am free from sin in my life, for my heart is clean and pure? Mark it down. God hates it when you demonstrate a double standard, one for them, one for you. All children show what they're really like by how they act. You can discern their character, whether they are pure or perverse. Lovers of God have been given eyes to see with spiritual discernment and ears to hear from God. Just pause on that for a second. Lovers of God have been given eyes to see with spiritual discernment and ears to hear from God. You know, I think it's Ephesians that says that we have been seated in heavenly places, and also that we have been given the mind of Christ. And many of us, are using man's intellect, and we're seeing here on the physical plane, and we're not coming up and seeing things from God's point of view, or asking and seeking his wisdom during times like this. And that, I think that's something we need to tap into. We've been given eyes to see and ears to hear, but are we really using those? It says we've been given, but are we really using that? Verse 13. If you spend all your time sleeping, you're going to grow poor. So wake up, sleepyhead. Don't sleep on the job, and then there will be plenty of food on your table. The buyer says as he haggles over the price, "That's junk. It's worthless." Then he goes out and brags, "Look at the great deal I got." You may have an abundance of wealth, piles of gold and jewels, but there is something of far greater worth: speaking revelation knowledge. Anyone stupid enough to guarantee a loan for a stranger deserves to have his property held as security. What you obtain dishonestly may seem sweet at first, but sooner or later, you'll live to regret it. If you solicit good advice, then your plans will succeed. So don't charge into battle without wisdom, for wars are won by skillful strategy. A blabbermouth. How about that? A blabbermouth will reveal your secrets, so stay away from people who can't keep their mouths shut. If you despise your father or your mother, your life will flicker out like a lamp, extinguished into the deepest darkness. If an inheritance is gained too quickly in life, it will not be blessed in the end. We could camp out there for a good while. I think I've even done a YouTube video on that right there. But if an inheritance is gained too quickly in life, it will not be blessed in the end. You think about people who've won the lottery, right? They've been given a large sum of money, and then how, several years later they're dead broke, right? And it's because they haven't become the type of person who can hang on to it, right? They haven't developed the habits. They haven't become the type of person who can handle it. And that's what it's talking about here is if an inheritance is gained too early in life, they haven't become the type of person who has the habits and the discipline to be able to handle themselves with something like that. So in the journey, the first step is becoming that type of person. So when you get there, when you gain and enter your inheritance, you can stay there, right? Once you get there, you can stay there and you don't fall back. 22, don't ever say, "I'm going to get even with them," if it's the last thing I do. Wrap God's grace around your heart, and He will be the one to vindicate you. The Lord hates double standards. That's hypocrisy at its worst. It is the Lord who directs your life, for each step you take is ordained by God to bring you closer to your destiny. So much of your life then remains a mystery. Be careful in making a rash promise before God, or you may be trapped by your vow and live to regret it. A wise king is able to discern corruption and remove wickedness from his kingdom. The Spirit of God breathed into man is like a living lamp, a shining light, searching into the innermost chambers of our being. Good leadership is built on love and truth, for kindness and integrity are what keep leaders in their position of trust. That's a good one right there. We admire the young for their strength and beauty, but the dignity of the old is their wisdom. When you are punished severely, you learn your lesson well, for painful experiences do wonders to change your life. That's another good one right there. One last thing on that, talking about experiences. People say experience is the greatest teacher, but it's really evaluated experience that's the greatest teacher. That when you sit back and you evaluate each experience, it allows the lesson to catch up with you. Hey, I've enjoyed today, day 20. Look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow on day 21, 31 days of wisdom. You guys have a great day and God bless.